Hi guys and welcome back. It's Chit Chat with two T's. As usual, I am your host, Counselling Psychologist jvaldez, and with me today, yes, another person in my long line of extra special persons. Right? I'm blessed. I'm blessed to know special people. And today's special person is Mrs. Victoria Lee-Cummings. Welcome, Victoria. So happy to have you here. It's been like forever, and I've been trying to get you on the show.
I know. But thank you so much. Feels like home.
Yes, we're happy to have you here very much. And maybe you could tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm me and trying to
Helpful.
trying to figure out what the me is. Guidance officer by profession. I'm psychologist, counseling psychologist. Married to an amazing guy, and I have two beautiful but stressful kids.
So adorbs.
Yeah. most of the time. But that's about it. I'm on vacation leave right now, so that is amazing. But don't tell the people that I said that, right?
All right.
But it's nice to be able to stop for a little bit and try to figure things out and just do you for a little bit of time, you know?
Extremely helpful to have that pause, which I have to remind myself that I need from time to time. So thank you for reminding me. And so what is in your cup, literally, before we get into what's in your cup figuratively? Today, I have my fancy schmancy wholeness and wellness cup.
Excuse me.
Yes. Thank you to staff and the management, Dr. Tracy Rogers and management of Wholeness and Wellness. And I will tell you guys in the description below where you can get your cups like these done. I'll tell you because I can't remember right now. But I will tell you. I will. I promise. So you just have to look. You have to read below to see. So she got these beautiful Wholeness and Wellness mugs. And I am part of the Wholeness and Wellness family. And we've seen persons from Wholeness and Wellness on the show, right? We've had Dr. Tracy Rogers and Akila Riley Richardson and Onika Henry. So we are very, very happy with the Wholeness and Wellness family. So I decided to, just pay them a little homage today. And in my cup is water because I just ate. I forgot we were going to record right after that. So I don't want anything. I just want water. Drinking water and minding my business in this room. So what's happening in your cup, Victoria? What do you have over there?
I think you cheated because you didn't say right before this you were preparing your drink.
I was preparing my drink.
Water, right? But anyway, I have my very large cup.
Ooh!
And it's quite Christmassy.
I love it.
And it's quite me. It's my Christmas cup that ended up being my all year round cup because it didn't go back.
What does that have written on it?
It says naughty or nice. I have outfits for boots. And I know
I love it. That's such a you cup.
Exactly.
That's
and in it, I have coffee. Lots of coffee. I love this cup because it's huge.
Yes, I was about to say kind of
it's
it
huge.
Just is. Yeah.
So like you could get all the aromas of the coffee to kind of wake you up.
You could swim in there. You
could hide in the cup.
Yeah, you could.
So I love big mugs. It makes me feel, cozy.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
Oh my.
And I would like to thank
Ricardo said that is the World Cup.
Well, I would like to thank Home Store for providing this at a cost, obviously.
Right. But didn't really provide it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for having great stock.
Well, thank you, Home Store, and you've heard it here. So if you would also like to provide Victoria and us at the Chit Chat family with beautiful big mugs, we are open to that. Just follow us, find us on Instagram. We're open. Home Store. Anyway, I think you're in the running for largest mug we've seen, but I still think Kiara has first place because that was huge, humongous. Like,
would you like me to go get another one?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Just asking.
That's fine, but thank you. Okay. Now we know when we have you on the show again, because now you're officially a friend of Chit Chat with two T's.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can showcase a different book, right?
Yes.
So thank you for that. And but that's what's literally in your cup. What's going on with you figuratively? What's happening?
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to navigate life post-COVID and I'm trying to navigate adulting, I should say.
When you figure it out, let me know.
Well, I guess that's why we're here, to talk about the challenges, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to navigate. I don't like using the word balance, even though as practitioners we use it all the time.
Yeah.
Because for me, I kind of see a balance in a scale, and then that kind of gets me very anxious because I see, you need to have everything in a line all the time, and it just doesn't work like that. So I like to use the word navigate these days. I used to be a big fan of balance, but I'm
still a fan of balance.
Of course. But I'm trying to navigate and work around. Over the past 5-6 years, I would say I kind of ticked a lot of the boxes that I had to tick, and I'm now trying to figure out how all of those now tick box and accomplishments worked together, and what role and how my roles have changed according to those different things. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to adult while reparenting as an adult.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, a friend of mine, and I always talk about like our parents' generation, their parents' generation, and they did the best that they could, but in the best that they could, sometimes it wasn't the best for us. And we need to be the prototype. That's the word we use, #prototype. Our generation needs to be the prototype that kind of gets it, not right, but gets it to a point that a lot of the early traumas that many of us would have experienced, we kind of block it from happening to our kids,
Yeah.
Being a mother, I think that has kind of been like the inspiration for it, well, I have no choice.
No, that's not true, because a lot of people choose to do nothing. So you have a choice, or they choose to just, do bad things. So I think you made a good choice.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think some people as well choose to want to do the right thing, but they don't have the resources.
Right.
They don't have the capability, and they live what they learn. So us who choose to be the prototype, it is hard, Jill. It's hard to stop and relearn and to get yourself together in order to do well, because like you said, some people don't do it, but I think we still need to give them kudos, because it may not be that they don't want to, it may be that they don't know how to, because of their past experiences and their past traumas, or anything like that. So yeah, that is what's in my cup. I'm trying to navigate being a wife, being a mother, being a guidance officer, being in the education system, being a counseling psychologist, reaching back to finding my dreams of research and private practice, and mingling all the things that are representative of me while still doing the other things that need to get done. So it's navigating. It's a lot in the cup. The cup's overflowing.
And I'm going to say that's why your cup is so big, because that's a lot happening.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's special to me. I think a lot of us women and men, I see you, Ricardo. A lot of us who are very aware, our cup will be big.
Yeah.
because we are making the added effort to do something about it, as opposed to just lay there and say, okay, well, this happened to me.
Yeah.
So let me just respond or behave as a result of whatever the it is, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. I think what you said is so indicative of what a lot of us experience. I mean, of course, throughout life we have similar experiences, but I think there's something about that maybe that late 20s to mid 40s spot. I think there's something within that time period where we're doing a lot of navigating, as
And
you said.
I think it had a lot to do with survival. At least the generations before, it was simply about survival. I think our generation is now about success and thriving and making something of yourself, being entrepreneurs, trying to be creative. Because even I find, like, working in the education system, I find that and I could compare that very much to now being the parents of two very small kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old who's going on 12, right?
Yes.
To see the level of creativity that they have, and to see how going through the school system, we kind of
stifle it,
that creativity, and then we reach in our 30s and we want to try to be creative again, and it's a struggle, you know, a struggle of wanting to be successful. What does successful mean?
Does it look like?
Yeah, and matching financial success with that innate feel-good sort of success.
Yeah.
And then adding the what am I leaving as my legacy, and then adding, you know, just how am I making things better? You know, how do I fit? How am I making this be something real, you know? So it's adulting is...
It's hard.
Yeah, and like I deal with teens a lot, and they're like, oh my God, I just can't wait to get to reach 18.
They don't know.
No.
They don't know.
No, I'm like, please enjoy
you know
being
nothing,
a child.
John Snow.
Please enjoy not having to pay a bill, not having to think about all the things that it is you think you want to think about right now. Just calm down, enjoy being...
just relax there,
exactly.
Teenagers. Relax.
Exactly. So, yeah.
It is a lot for us, and I think, you know, just also trying to manage that with being your, you know, another term that we hear often is being your authentic self. Because it's easy to fall into the pattern of expectation.
Yes.
You know, coming from that mindset of our parents where it was about surviving, and for them that survival looked like success, but success was primarily education.
Yes.
Get your education, you know, then you could get a good job, and then you'd make money and you'd be comfortable. The lies.
Yeah, that
the lies. Well, you know what? It wasn't for them. It would have been their truth, right? Because at that time, education wasn't as easily accessible. Correct. So for them, it was like education is what will put you over the edge. By the time we were coming up, education was easily accessible.
Yeah.
Like, take it. It's free. Take 6 years to finish your bachelor's.
Yeah.
While you're lineman in UE, you know, do what you want.
Were you doing that, Jill?
I finished in 3, so it wasn't me.
Okay, I did also. It wasn't me.
Right, but you know, we had the all fours crew. We had, you know, we know people in specific areas in UE, right? And so I think somewhere along the line we had to kind of match that with what it looked like for us, because it wasn't happening. So you get the education, but then you didn't get the job that would make you the money that you thought it would. And even if you were making the money isn't going as far as it used to.
Yes.
So all of these things just kind of bring within itself. Then there are those of us who would, you know, with the degrees, were educated and unemployed.
Yeah.
I remember I was unemployed for like a year and something.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, you know, coming into that, or you think you have a good job and then things happen, you know, Petrotrin closed.
Who would have thought?
Petrotrin closed, right? And other areas like that. So I think it's just, there'll always be challenges for us, but those things are taxing. I mean, for me as an individual, that's taxing. You have a whole husband and 2 children. So, I mean, how are you managing your own expectations, your own concerns, and then those roles? Because I know you hate it, but it is a lot to balance.
It is a lot of balance.
Yeah.
And while I try to balance the navigating is
word of the day.
It's challenging. I'm going to be extremely honest. It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been a people pleaser. I've been a yes person.
Yeah.
I tend to give more than I have. Right? And I think when I realized I needed to stop, it was too late. You know, it was like, have to stop, not choose to.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of things were happening, a lot of things were falling apart. And being a trained a therapist,
yes,
there is the expectation that you should have it all together. But it's not. And I think we as therapists also need to start that conversation as well.
Yeah.
We need to start having that person to talk to, or if we have our own private therapist to go and
I do have my therapist. Big up to Ori Ramu. It's my therapist. She's great.
And not just about the heaviness of the job, but about the personal life. Because there would have been certain things that would have driven us along this path, directed us along this path. And for me, that was the biggest, like my cup, hindrance of me accepting that everything was not right. Because there was an expectation of everyone, family members, friends, that this is your job, you're a therapist, you do this for everyone else and you do it good. I'm good at my job and I do it beautifully for other people. But when it came to myself and the emotions surrounding people close to me, that is, you can't thrive like that, you know? And I like to say, think of it like a heart surgeon thoroughly perform heart surgery on himself. As good as he may be, you know? And for me, what really brought it out was during that COVID period, that 2 years. And I think from COVID, we started to talk more about mental health.
Yeah.
Because we no longer had those hundreds of distractions, the going to work, the partying, the liming,
the sports,
all the things that would have distracted us from the reality of ourselves. There's something that is really deafening about silence, and it allows you to think and introspect. And for COVID, for us in our home, it wasn't bad. We didn't contract the illness. We didn't have any friends or family members close who would have passed away from the illness, but it was challenging having two very small children in a home with two working parents who have to work from home. And then I had one in online school, preschool. Well, that was a challenge. And then I had a baby because at the beginning, everything locked down in March, so she would have been just about 3 months old. Wow. So I practically had a newborn, and the support wasn't there. So it was really, really grilling and really, really difficult to manage and navigate and balance all of those things. And I think it's not something special to me. I think it's something that a lot of people would have experienced during that point in time. And what really stuck with me during that period of time was, I remember the Prime Minister saying, now is the time for us to come together as a community, the village rich, the children, grandparents, those kind of things like that. And not everyone has that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So sometimes when and I think as influential persons, and even sometimes us as practitioners, we need to be very mindful in terms of how we speak, because we may say something that is positive, but it triggers something for someone else. You know, like if I come on here speaking about how amazing my husband is, which he is, right?
I got Roberts one time.
And then someone would have just lost their husband. You know, that triggers something, you know. So it was difficult during COVID. It was really difficult. And I felt as though I was going crazy. I was losing my mind because I could not function. Okay, I could not function the way I like to function. I couldn't give 150% to everyone.
Which you shouldn't be doing anyway.
Exactly. Which would have been my negative coping from even before. But I didn't notice it, or it was okay because I had things to distract me. Right. Now I like to say that I have a very, very, very high pain tolerance. And for me, I also have a very high threshold when it comes to trauma. So I found myself, due to past experiences, which you're gonna get in episode 2, right?
Hey,
because I can't be sharing everything in this one.
I mean,
but because of just childhood trauma and stuff like that, that kind of only emerged through that discomfort and that needing to get it out during the COVID. I realized that I have taught myself to live at a very high threshold of trauma, of pain. So, like how you said, you shouldn't be given 150%. I don't know that because I've been so used to giving 150% that I didn't know it was wrong. It's like I functioned, I'm working on it.
Good job.
Like if the building is burning, I'm staying in the building to save whoever needs to be saved.
Yeah.
Or I'm staying in the building because, okay, it's burning down, but it probably would not reach to where I am. And that was so unhealthy. So that was like the beginning of the end of the crazy, but like the start of the even more crazy.
What?
You know, of the just trying to figure it out and navigate things. And I think a lot of women have challenges. Like I said, I would have just recently had a baby. So I wouldn't say it was postpartum depression, but I like to coin it. I don't know if anybody coined it yet, right? So,
right, okay.
Postpartum transition.
Hello.
Which I think each woman goes through. Because we now live in a snapback culture. When it comes to pregnancy and women doing it all, and we have moved to wanting to be this independent woman and pushing it so much that there have been so much expectations of others towards us, right, as well as the expectations that we have of ourselves, you know? And I think recently in the media, we've been seeing so much challenges with women and either ill-treating their newborns or murdering
abandoning
their children, killing their children. And as difficult as it is for someone to digest, I could understand it. Because if you do not have support, and men, you rest it, you need to support it. Woman.
Chit Chat with 2 T's, guys. You heard it here. If you rest it, you need to support it.
You need to support it, and you need to be observant. Because it's not easy. The hormones and the changes, and you wanting to look the way you looked before. And for me, a lot of times, and even sometimes in psychology, we talk about how experiences, I shouldn't say psychology, just maybe in life, we say that, you know, experiences shouldn't change who we are, but they do.
Disagree, yeah.
They do, and they will always change who we are. Because that's just life. it may not
we're
change.
We're not static beings, we're dynamic.
Exactly. And it may not change our innate personality, but sometimes it will, depending on the level of trauma. And that's why sometimes we see so many people with trust issues. They don't have reason to be trusting, but they could have probably seen a situation where their parents would have had challenges of infidelity, and they bring in that trust issue, which I have seen personally with friends. And then you end up sabotaging your relationship, not because of something that happened to you, but your vicarious experience.
Of trauma.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, that happened, it happened, and it all marries into this big melting our pot of who we are. And things do happen, and we change, and I think we have, through social media and the Instagram this and the Instagram that, we have tunnel vision ourselves to the point that we expect something to happen to us, and we do not change. And we see it with the celebrities. We even see it with people, our friends, whatever. You have a baby, you expect to look the same way after. You expect to jump back into work the same way. You expect
you can't.
You expect your social life to be the same way. So then when you now mingle things and you have persons who may not be experiencing your experience, it may be like you've changed, but you have changed, but you have to change because of your experience. And it could just be that they have not experienced what you have, or are not open to understanding your experience.
I mean, you raised so many good points in there. And that's a lot. It is a lot to navigate. So in navigating all of that, all your rules, all the expectations, all the changes, what do you find has occurred or is occurring, or maybe not occurring, that boils your water? What upsets you? What is a pet peeve? Because all of that in the navigation too.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe you can share that with us.
On the surface level, right, what really boiling my water right now, right, pertains to nothing that we just spoke about, is like the roads. And you are so good. The roads.
Legitimately, from Oropuch to Point Fortin.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the gas prices. Because like what is this? And I've been seeing so many people just shut up on the side of the road with a gas canister, filling up, because
gas is not carrying us as far as it used to.
The reality is that people are challenged. So that is what is really boiling my water.
Yeah.
But in terms of my life, I'm really hard on myself, and I'm fine. I'm not getting there as quickly as possible, and that irritates me. And I need to be kind to myself.
Yes, that's you do. My biggest thing. And patient.
That's my biggest thing. Yeah. So like I say, I am great at doing a lot of things for other people, but when it comes to myself, that's the challenge.
Not so much.
That's the challenge. So yeah, that's my PV thing.
Well, I'm glad that it's simple, but it's not. If that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
And I get that too, because it's you can almost say it's an offshoot of the expectations, right? The expectations are so weighty, and there's so many expectations of us, not only by others but from ourselves. When we think, oh gosh, I'm supposed to be further along, I thought it would have looked different at this point, and I can relate to that. But you've talked a lot about navigating all of these things, and we're also discussing your mental health. How would you describe your mental health at this point? Like, how would you describe it, and how are you managing it?
My mental health is better than it was before. So it's coming along.
Right.
I am trying to prioritize myself.
Oh.
Which is difficult.
Yeah.
When you're not used to doing it. I've been seeing a therapist.
Awesome.
Right. And I'm just trying to I'm trying to enjoy the process while it's happening. And my greatest fear, right? So is being because like I say, I work in the school system. I work with kids. So I hear a lot of things that the average person is not privy to. So they will tell me things that they wouldn't tell their parents.
Yeah.
I don't want that for my children. And I always say that I want to be my home to be that oasis that when my adult children are in trouble, that they come back to.
Yeah.
That's above all other things that I want to do and achieve. That's like my greatest goal. To provide that home that they come back to if things go bad.
Yeah.
You know? But it's been a good challenge. It's been a lot to be selfless in a selfish way.
I love that.
You know, selfishly selfless, you know?
Yeah.
And to just try to stop, pause, right? And that's the thing that I have coming up that you kind of know about. The pause, right? So it's
Cat is
about
cocking his ear. He wants to know about the pause. Yes.
Right. So I plan on relaunching the private practice in a different kind of way. You know, I think it comes out of being on the other side of the practitioner's chair, where I see things that I need that I'm pretty certain that someone else would need.
Right.
You know? So I always said, and you said it too, pause, right? And that's the name of the business, right? Pause, right?
Hey.
Pause Strategic Counseling Services Limited. So
awesome.
It's really a hybrid approach to counseling. I like to say it's therapy with a twist, where it's like a mixture of traditional therapy, coaching, and like real old school behaviorism. Things that we would have learned initially and would have been the base of that great pyramid of psychology that I think was that I loved initially. And I think it was so beneficial to the process, but I think we moved so far away from it, right? So it's kind of like a mishmash, like I say, hybrid version of you having the opportunity to pause, to stop, right? Because I don't want to mean to go dark, but a lot of people who attempt suicide or are suicidal and they want to stop living, it's for a reason. I don't really think that they want to die.
No, they just want the pain to stop.
They want whatever is going on at this present moment to stop. They just want a pause so that they can get themselves back together and to then proceed. And that's kind of what I have given myself now. That pause through vacation, truly pause, meaning taking certain things that you have in control. Taking some time away from work, taking some time, saying no to some of your commitments.
Yes,
you know,
definitely.
Because, you know, we are yes people, we are helpers, we do like to disappoint. We always like to say, okay, we're going to help. And, you know, maybe you have something like 5 minutes after, but you're still committing to it.
Yeah.
I've learned to say no to those things and yes to the opportunities that come to me. Because I would have had challenge with just not feeling that I'm deserving of certain things, or feeling as though it's when the light is on me, it shouldn't. And I know where it comes from now, like I said, episode 2. I know where it comes from now. I was able to identify it through therapy, where it came from. So while I still have that anxious feeling, I'm now able to navigate through it and know, okay, it's not a real thing. It's something that would have happened. So that's kind of what pause is. Asking you, what's the one thing that you want to pause from?
Yeah.
You know, what's the one thing in your life, if you can stop, you will stop. And that usually gives the presenting concern. And then we work very, very individually based on your specific issue. I don't want to give too much, but
that's fine. You're giving us a great taste and we're excited.
But it allows you to leave your session completely relaxed, right? Because I find sometimes I would have left sessions, and while it is the whole reducing of the anxiety would have been part and ending of the session, on my drive home, or if it was a virtual session, I found myself thinking about it. Because as humans, whatever you discover or rediscover, you're gonna have it on your mind. So I don't want that for my clients, because I find that it tends to bring up and if it's not done well, you tend to maybe leave the person in an anxious state and you are not there, because realistically 45 minutes an hour and someone is pouring out their heart and soul to you, but we have to do it. You know, we have to do it. But pause is a process where you go through certain stages. Like I say, I don't want to give too much until I share it with you.
That's fine.
But you go through different stages of the therapeutic process. It's a very hybrid vision, but I think it's something that is needed, something that I needed, and it gives us the opportunity to help in a more deeper and more meaningful way. So that's my big thing that I have coming out of my negative. This is my...
Well, that is beautiful. That's beautiful, and I'm very proud of you, because of course, starting a business is no easy feat, and the fact that you've decided, you know what, I'm going to just follow my dreams and I'm going to go for it, which is not something that you would typically do in that way. It's not that you've never done anything you've wanted to do before. It's just in this particular way, and I'm so happy to see it coming through. So that's fantastic. So you know that there are some big things coming from you, and I know that you would have also had some other ventures, and you know you could always talk about that if you like. But in terms of your mental health, like what do you do to de-stress? You have 2 small children. You also spoke about not really having as much support as you'd like. What is Victoria doing for Victoria?
Victoria is working out these days. So I got a rower, like in a rower. A serial paddle, So I've been rowing. Right, I love it. I think I want to join the
Dragon Boat team.
Yeah, I feel like that good. No, right.
I don't feel that way about myself. So I support you.
From the 2 months of rowing in my bedroom, I definitely think I'll make the team.
I think so.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been working and on my project, on my business. I've been preparing myself to go back out to work. Because I go back out to work soon.
Okay.
I'm preparing myself to, I don't know, to exist in a different type of way.
I love that.
And
I love that. Exist in a different type of way.
Yeah. And to a woman, right? As much as we tend to deny it, we hold things together. You know? And for a long time, I would have been given from an empty cup. I'm trying to fill back up my cup. Right. You know? I have a young daughter. I have a young son. So I want them to know how to self-care.
Yeah.
When to say no, when and how to
boundaries.
Exactly. When and how to identify trauma, know their boundaries, know what is right from wrong. So introspecting, planning my work for this new venture that I'm going on is a therapeutic thing for me, because I'm a real nerd. And I love planning and proposals and research and those sort of things like that. You know that, as the SPSS guy.
Yeah, better you
So,
than me, sis.
yes, I know. But that has been really driving me, focusing on what I want to do.
Yeah, knowing it's yours.
Yeah. And for a while, I was very, very comfortable. And I think in the comfort, it made me lose sight of what I really wanted. And I think
complacent.
I think a lot of us do that.
Yeah.
A lot of us do it when we get into a job and it works and it pays and we do what we're doing. We lose sight of the me. And you spoke about the wife, mom, me thing. And that was, it for me was like a personal diary. It wasn't, initially started off as a personal diary. Like when I started to go through my thing and start therapy and realize that I needed to do some changes and realize that I needed to heal and reparent myself. That was like my, a journal to myself.
But it was also a great blog for us
to
read.
It was also, and the adult tips and all those stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. But the thing about it is that pause has a great aspect of that. Because for me, what I'm doing for me, Jay, is trying to find a way to fulfill all the things that I desire and I love. I love fashion. I love fashion. I love interior design. I love psychology. I love people. I love decorating. There's so many things that I love. And it's difficult to put all those things under one umbrella.
Yeah.
But I found a way to do it.
I believe it. 100%.
So it's going to come. It's going to be amazing in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
And and we will see how it goes. So that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on me, and it's a difficult thing. Like I'll give you an example. I don't like putting myself first. It's very, very difficult. So earlier this year, I was forced to go on a trip by myself.
Yeah.
That was like the hardest thing ever because I didn't think that
but it was so important for you.
It was important for me and it was needed. And that's why I think guys and women as well, it is important to, if you have a partner, to always support your partner. I am
number one.
I always say that I think my vocation is marriage. And having that partner that you grow with together, that you can lean on. And I encourage people, yes, sometimes you're going through a difficult thing in a relationship and you want to just jump out, but work through it. Commitment, trust. Sometimes I think trust is more important than love. And to be attentive. Guys, be attentive. See, ladies, we don't always have to feel as though we know everything. Men need love too. Men are
my gosh, you just gave Ricardo
men are stressed too. Men have challenges with mental health too. They just deal with it differently. They go out there and they sleep around. They go out there, they go to the bar, they drive crazy on the road. They do it in a different, they do it in a different way. So we, as much as we want to be treated as a princess, we can't be treating the man like a frog. We need to give to our guys the same support, the same love, the same honor
that we
want. And if relationships start from that, I think they last.
16 years and counting.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. So yes. I think you may just know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You might.
Yeah.
I mean, Victoria, this has really been amazing to just sit here and listen to you tell your story and part of your story and where you're looking to go and how you've been navigating. And I just want to thank you for coming and sharing all of that with us. Are you ready to tell us how we could find you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
How can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at wife_mom_me, right? Or you can, I have the website up, pausett.com, www.pausett.com. Or if you require any sort of counseling services, or we do free consultations to just ensure that it is, my thing might be the right thing for you.
Correct.
Right? You can get me on 2650510.
You heard it, guys. It's time for you to pause.
Yes.
All right? And it's time for us to stop. So, I just, again, thank you so much to Victoria Lee-Cummings for finally making it on. We've had such a blast with you. It was well worth the wait. I think everybody that we wait for is well worth the wait. That's how it turns out.
Yeah,
that quality is, second to none. So thank you for making the time. We appreciate you. And this is the thing, we are normalizing mental health discussion. So many people, I'm sure, can relate to everything that you've just said. So thank you so much for that. And we continue to do our part to raise mental health awareness, and we hope that you all, as viewers and listeners, will do the same. All right. So remember, this has been Chit Chat with 2 T's. I am your host, jvaldez, and we continue to discuss the mental health actual factuals. Okay? So don't miss the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.